being a stubborn trader. Hi, it's Charlie giving you today's video. So what's this all about? Well, there's several things that traders do that don't actually help them, and yet being stubborn actually can really help you. So in trading, being stubborn can really help you. So one thing you need to do is, in trading, you need to have trade conviction. So the ability to stay with the trade, the ability to stay with the trade idea as well. So I'm going to give you an example here. So I've got a chart up here of the pound dollar. So let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, so on a daily chart, that'll do. Okay, so actually I could even use a recent example here. So let's say you've got I don't know, a big piece, a piece of analysis at this point when the pound was up here, where you're saying, right, yes, I want to buy this on a pullback, and you might have given levels. So you might say, well, you typically buy into prior highs. So back here, that would have worked quite nicely for you. Price is broken out, it's pulled back to the prior high zone, and you've been a buyer in that zone. This time, price comes back. Okay, it's not worked out, but you still want to be a buyer. Okay, so you say, okay, well, of course, when the market's in a trend, it's not necessarily going to just come back down to the prior high every time, much like here. Price pulled back to that prior high, actually overshot it a bit. So let's assume maybe you got stopped out down there, and then it's come back up. So you've got to keep an eye on that. You've got to be staying with your analysis, and it's exactly the same as I've just said back here. So it's come through. What's your next level? So you might say, oh, well, the next level, I don't know, is maybe this level here, back down to here, maybe. So, and for argument's sake, yeah, price has gone below that, depending on your stop loss level. Okay, you've been stopped out. But the point is, if you're a stubborn trader, if you have an element of sticking to the plan, you know all of this in advance. So you know that, okay, when price pulls back to a given prior high, it's not always going to pin perfectly, come back down like that one, and then turn back up again. So there are going to be other levels that it might pull back to. So what I'm saying is, if you're looking at a market that's in a trend, and you're going to have defined levels. So it might come back down to a first level, yeah, like here, for example. And if that fails, does that mean that's it? You don't take another pullback, because it might have stopped down here, and then you had to think about it, carried on going low, but it might not have done in a different scenario. It wouldn't have done. So you would have different levels. So you need to be stubborn to stay with your plan, is what I'm saying. So if you've got a given piece of analysis, you've got to stick with it. You're not going to be right on every entry that you have, but you've got to be stubborn enough to say, right, okay, I've been stopped out on this one. That's strike number 1 here. But actually, within the context of this trend, I've got 3 levels, let's say, I don't know, maybe back to here, number 3. I'm just making this up. You've got 3 levels that you're looking at, because sometimes a market just does a deeper retracement. And so you've got to then be stubborn enough to stick with that and not get put off just because the first one gets stopped out or the second one gets stopped out. So if nothing has changed, and I'm just making this up here, you might have a specific strategy that sets itself up, you get stopped out, and then it resets. It resets itself up. Nothing has particularly changed. You've just been stopped out. You've got to be stubborn enough to stick with the plan rather than jumping around and saying, oh no, I don't want to do that now. I'm going to go off and look at a different market, or I'm going to apply a different strategy. And we see this with strategies as well. So when it comes to strategy, we see the same sort of thing. A trader will be trading with a given strategy, and then if it goes for a period of uncertainty, like all strategies will do, then they dump the strategy and they move on to something else. They become a strategy hopper. So that's just another way. Are you really sticking to your plan? So if there's nothing wrong with the strategy, yes, it might be having some a losing period, but is that losing period outside of its historical norms, whatever? So you need to ask yourself the question, are you being stubborn enough in sticking to your plan, whatever that plan is, whether it's strategy based, whether it's analysis based, like I've just given this example here. Don't allow the market to put you off. The market is there trying to shake you out, whether it's with a strategy or whether it's with analysis. The market is constantly trying to shake you out and put you off. Always bear that in mind, because what I've found over the years is being stubborn, sticking to your plan until proven otherwise, is usually the best form of trading. Take care. Have a lovely rest of the week. I'll see you at the weekend.